Hey everyone, welcome back to Let's Talk Blogging and Podcasting Tips. I'm the host Joe Pardo, as always. Today I'm rocking my International Podcast Day shirt. It's on 9/30, which is in 2 days from now. So uh, make sure you use the hashtag. Was it hashtag Podcast Day
That's
to
right.
put my own shirt to do that. Okay, so tonight we have three people in so far. Hopefully, we'll get a little more people in as we go along. As always, Anthony Hayes, please feel free to introduce yourself first.
Hey guys, what's up? My name is Anthony Hayes. I'm wearing my official hashtag Had a Dream t-shirt tonight.
Ooh.
I'm from me, myself, and iRadio.com, and I have a podcast all about self-discovery and overcoming obstacles, and I draw from personal experiences on that. And I also have two blogs I write for, and all the information's at me, myself, and iRadio.com.
Sweet. Thank you for joining us, Anthony. And next up, Tony, could you introduce yourself?
Hey, Tony Woodall with Goal Getting Podcast. I'm here on BART and getting ready to go through the tube, so you may lose me. But I teach goal setting and goal achievement to people who want to overcome limiting beliefs and change their subconscious mind to more positive and goal achieving beliefs. So,
Awesome. What was your website one more time?
goalgettingpodcast.com.
Getting. Cool. Thanks.
Yes, Tony runs a wonderful show over there, and he's coming live from the what's it called over there? The BART.
BART.
The BART.
Yes, I'll go back on mute because it gets noisy in the tube.
Well, hopefully we don't lose you down there. I'm surprised you have it because I know in New York, you don't get great cell phone service down there.
They're
It
starting
doesn't
to
do too
improve.
bad.
Oh, well, that's about time. It's 2015, so
Yeah.
cell phones have existed almost, what, 30 years or over 30 years now?
Mm-hmm.
About time. Matt, could you please introduce yourself and where you're from?
Sure, Matthew. I'm also from New Jersey, currently just outside the Princeton area. I actively participate in two podcasts. One is called The Hillary Barsky Show. It's a daily podcast taking a look at the day's news, although I'm not on it this week because I'm working. And then I also have my own personal project called the Pod Up Podcast. It is with podcasters, for podcasters, by podcasters, all about podcasting. So definitely come and check it out. Poduppodcast.com.
Again, all three of these guys run really great shows. I've been on all three of them, and you definitely should go and check them all out. So, I mean, I guess let's start with Facebook was down today, and nobody noticed apparently other than me. than me.
I would have definitely noticed if I was home doing my regular thing. We actively promote the Hillary Barsky Show on Facebook every day. We post it on there. We boost it for a couple of bucks each day to make sure people are seeing it. And so, had I not been working a separate assignment doing podcasting for Advertising Week, I definitely would have noticed and would probably have been in a little bit of trouble because that's where the majority of our audience seems to come from right now.
Well, it was only down for I think about 10 to 20 minutes or so. At least what I noticed. It might have been longer. I'm not really sure because I was on a call at the time, so I'm not really too sure. But man, it was a scary thought. I mean, but part of me was scared, and part of me was, man, I kind of hope it doesn't come back. Like we could all start over. It'd be great. We'd all get a fresh, slate on what's that other one called? Hello.
Hello.
Hello, yeah, Hello. Or something that I don't even have an account on LO. Do you guys have LO accounts?
No. Have one, never use it.
Yeah, I don't know if I might have one. I think I created it and then just never did anything with it.
No, I don't. I didn't even know Facebook was down today, to be honest with you. I was in and out on it throughout the day, but.
How about you, Tony? Did you notice that it was down?
I did not. I was actually on it several times myself. constant meeting, but the only reason I do it is I go silent.
We're slowly losing Tony.
Can you hear me?
Not really, man.
Sorry.
Anyway, yeah, no, it's kind of scary because, like you were saying, Matthew, the utilizing Facebook to get the word out about a podcast or a blog post or basically your whole list, your friends. I mean, it's scary to me because like there's a lot of people I wouldn't know how to keep up with otherwise.
Yeah, not amongst my friends, we sort of grew up. When we got on social media, it was Facebook, and Twitter came along, but not everyone has adopted it. And then, like you said, Ello comes out, but not everyone's adopting that. And now Snapchat's the big thing. But all my friends are like, no, I've got Facebook. I don't really want to learn anything else. And
Yeah.
especially with Hillary Barsky show, we tend to target an older audience. And so when one social network goes down, it's not just, go to the next one and, make up for it there. We really lose a key, communications medium with them. The only thing that probably works after Facebook is snail mail, and unfortunately, I can't mail a podcast episode to people.
Well, you could. It just would take forever. You got to get them CD burners.
I think I have to get them 8 tracks. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, but people would get the CDs and be like, it doesn't go into my laptop anymore. And my car doesn't have a CD player anymore. I mean, some do, but there are cars out there that don't. Now.
I always thought about getting business cards that were little USBs so that you hand it to someone, they could just play that because, yeah, like you said, the
That'd be
CD
cool.
is going away.
Yeah. I mean, at some point, I would even think about doing that for like probably my next album instead of getting it burned on the CD. Like Adventure Touring was burned on dual disc CDs. I would think about getting it like on a flash drive, and at that point, I would just do it myself. Here, take a copy of my album. It's on a flash drive.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you could even print the name of your show on it and your name and stuff, like right on the actual flash drive itself.
Yeah, I mean, USB drives are becoming, regular swag at industry events. You could probably get them, printed pretty cheaply at this point.
Yeah, and it doesn't need to be that big. I mean, even albums like, 320 kilobit per second MP3s, or even adding the FLAC files on there, just for the hell of it. Wouldn't be just fine.
Yeah, they gave one away with business card with the flash drive on it. Podcast movement, somebody did.
Oh, really?
Yep. Yeah,
I don't know.
Looks out.
The only thing I would think about that is like, man, I hope there's no viruses on here.
Yeah. Yeah, you have to watch Mr. Robot or iRobot or something on TV. It's talks about that happening. So
yeah,
somebody with a music CD, like a flash drive, but not a flash drive, ended up with the virus and stuff on it.
You know what? With most cars having USB now, you could just plug that right into your car, and you'd be able to play it. Like if you just put the MP3 files right on the at the front of the drive. So
yeah, the other thing I was going to experiment with was putting a QR code on the back of my business card.
Yeah, I have that.
Yeah, and so this way, especially now with the mobile phone, just have someone go bloop, and it, open up the podcast store on iTunes or on Android, and right there they're subscribed. They don't have to do anything else. Oh, just like Anthony has. Perfect. Hold on. Hold that up. I'm going to scan you.
Well, here's my question. Well, I guess you answered the question, Matthew. What's how many people here have QR code readers on their phone? Raise your hand.
I do.
Okay, well that makes that. Hey, that's half. I guess Tony doesn't have one, or he didn't hear me.
No, I do. I do.
Oh,
I
you
wait.
do? Oh, wow, I'm in the minority here. Okay, well,
If you don't, go download Red Laser, Joe. It's a free app.
I don't want an app on
Yeah,
my phone that I'm never going to use. I only keep stuff on my phone that I use.
You can scan barcodes at the grocery store and find better deals too. So.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
not
cool.
surprising.
I like that.
You know, it's...
Do your grocery list right on your phone.
Yeah.
Oh, I think that was my stop I just heard.
Oh. So, I think, I like the idea of the QR code, but I mean, outside of you three guys, I don't really know anybody else that has these QR code readers.
Well, I feel like the phones come preloaded with them for the most part.
Well,
Yeah,
Android
definitely.
phones.
Do they not?
Android phones definitely do, and there are lots of apps that are made for reading QR codes, and it's I mean it's the same as giving out a website. It's maybe just one step shorter, or just a little easier in some cases.
Mm. I just thought it was like a little more unique way than say, hey, go to www. Granted, the website's on the card, but I thought it'd be a lot cooler. Just be like, here, scan. It says, scan, go to our website, or scan to, like, our Facebook page. So it was something different.
Yeah, I like that. I also, sort of to that same extent, I wonder if there's going to be a day where, like, you can Shazam podcast episodes. The way you can Shazam music, and increasingly do television and even movies are starting to make that feature available, where you just hold up your Shazam app, you listen, and then it's like, oh, you wanted to watch, an episode of this show, or
that
download
would be
this
cool.
movie.
Yeah, no, that would. But then you would have to realize where are the people hearing these podcasts at? Out in the real world. I guess, I mean, Play.it with the CBS support, you might you could make a case that could be useful there, and maybe that's one of the keys to getting something like that to do that.
Yeah, maybe.
I'm not sure. So anyway, well, speaking of podcasting and editing and all that, what have you guys had anything interesting happen in your workflow in the last couple weeks or so?
My computer just died on me while I was editing an interview. Hold on.
Oh man, what? It just totally shut off?
All right. Thankfully, I think it was just the monitor, not the computer itself. Yes. Whew. Okay.
Oh, well, that's good.
That
Anthony,
was
are you
scary.
frozen? You look frozen. Oh, he dropped out. Yeah, I was like, he's been holding the same pace for a while now. And amazingly, Tony hasn't dropped out, even though he's on the BART.
No, I think it's kind of a little crackly or whatever. It's just noisy.
Yeah, it is pretty noisy.
It doesn't bother me. I have noise canceling headphones on. So.
Are you using? Is there Wi-Fi on the BART, or is that all 3G? 4G?
Yeah, it's 4G right now, I think.
Because I feel like mobile internet is so tricky. Like, even though we're going to start seeing 4G enabled vehicles, I still wonder how reliable they're going to be for like a Skype call or streaming video and things like that.
Yeah, I think it's still kind of flaky at times, but it's better than not having anything. So.
True, very true.
Yeah, I mean,
there are some days where it doesn't work. But... Go ahead, sorry.
No. I mean, there's areas even in New Jersey that don't have great cell phone service still.
Oh, absolutely. There used to be a place near Newark that I used to. Now this was 10 years ago, but I used to drive through and near the airport, and it would lose signal. I'm going, come on, this is in Newark near the airport. You should have a signal.
There's that Thurman again.
Yeah. What's a theremin?
It's a goofy instrument that is basically laser lights, and like breaking the lasers causes it to make sounds.
Oh,
There's a comedian that uses it in his act. Merman. I can't think of his first name. Now you're gonna make me Google it.
Well, actually, I don't want to correct you, Matthew, but the theremin is actually radio frequencies. They're, like, newer ones would be lasers, but
Okay.
But yeah, it was actually like you're manipulating the sound, because that's why there's an antenna there, and you're like, it's kind of weird how you manipulate the sound.
It's Eugene Merman, by the way, is the one. He does a little bit on theremin jokes.
Huh. Theremin jokes. Interesting. I wonder, like old sci-fi film?
No, it's more just like he uses it as a soundtrack. So like instead of like a corny like. Actually, it's not even correct. He just uses it to add to his bit, and for some reason it gets you to laugh a little bit harder.
like that?
Exactly like that. I think there's the thing he does with Kirsten Shaw. Is that her name? Am I thinking of it right? Where the theremin is playing like an alien and she's responding to it and whatnot. It's pretty funny.
Mine's Outer Limits from the old days.
So,
what is Anthony threatening us with in his profile picture?
A punch.
Oh, okay.
A fist.
Are you still there, Anthony?
Yeah, I got my internet's going in and out.
Oh man, Florida is horrible for internet.
Yeah, our service provider is horrendous.
Where do you live in Florida, Anthony?
In West Palm Beach.
Oh, I was just down in your neck of the woods over Labor Day. My buddy just moved down there.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
In West Palm?
Yeah, he lives in West Palm. I went to school at Miami, so I used to spend some time there too.
Oh, okay, cool. You come down often?
Often, no. But try and get there once a year, maybe once every other year. Try and go to a Hurricane game when we can.
Oh, cool.
Oh, speaking of games, how about them Jets?
I knew you were going to say that. God damn it. Oh, bad connection. Gotta go. Yeah, that was. I mean, congratulations on the win. Although, honestly,
no, I know they couldn't do anything in the second half. I know.
Neither one of those teams. Yeah, I mean, that wasn't even a winning effort. That was just, we lost more than you lost that game.
Yeah, yeah. This is like the week before with Dallas. It's horrible.
Yeah.
On both ends of the ball. So I don't know who's really worse. So Anthony, has there been anything new? Any new podcasting with you? Can you hear me, Anthony?
Hey, sorry.
Oh, yeah. So has there been anything new in the podcasting realm? Like any problems you've come across or new things you tried to tackle?
Really, like I actually spoke to you briefly recently, was working with some post-production things to kind of make sure that all the audio levels are kind of just balanced out all the way across, and you eliminate those little spikes here and there. So I've been experimenting with that, trying to eliminate any, little glitches or anything along the way. So.
I'm sorry, can you hear that? Sorry about that. Matthew, is there anything that you do that's different for leveling out your audio?
I mean, I'm not sure if it's different. Lately, I've been doing a lot more hard limiting, which I know is not the greatest technique in the world, but Tends to make it a little bit easier to get a nice consistent sound and sort of just prevent that sort of big spikes and the dips where people can get easily annoyed. So lately I've just been doing a good hard limit, give it a somewhat of a square look, although not. I don't want to squash the whole thing, but I just want to bring down some of the peaks. And then I like to do a normalization to -3 on Adobe Audition and just try and keep everything as consistently as I can in that range, so folks don't have to, constantly adjust the volume while they're listening.
What processor are you using to do that?
In Audition, I use their hard limiter, and it's under favorites, just normalized to -3.
Why do you use -3?
Just because it's the sort of standard wave, formation that I'm used to seeing in broadcasting. A lot of different radio systems sort of look for that size wave as a normal broadcast sound, and it's
now, is that -3 decibels going in or -3 coming out?
Both.
Oh yeah, we were talking about this last week, Anthony.
Yeah.
I mean,
I've been trying to get around -9
going in
because most of the research that I've read suggested that.
Yeah, I mean, so when I record, I typically bounce, like I'm constantly at -9, and I'll like bounce a little bit up to -6, up to -3. So then, I'll try and squash it down to 9, and then after it's all squashed down to 9, I'll then pull it back out to 3, just to give it a nice loud sound so everybody can hear it. I don't do a lot of compression though. I don't tend to do a lot of other filtering and processing of the audio outside of that, just to get good even levels. I think I recorded a pretty decent sound, and you add too much compression, it starts to sound fake. It just starts to sound too processed.
See, when I first started with Audacity, probably the first 2 times I used it to record, some of the tutorials that I read or listened to suggested, doing all sorts of these things, and then when I went back and listened to it afterwards, I was like, it just sounds too over processed, and just not natural. So I've been trying to back it off a little bit since then, but in doing so, some of the levels like you were talking about would spike here and there. So I've been trying to eliminate that lately. Try to make it just as fluid as possible and as natural, as natural sounding. So,
what do you record with?
Audacity.
No, I mean what kind of equipment?
Oh, I've got a Behringer mic and a Behringer Xenix 502 mixer.
Okay. Should be a pretty clean sound.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's not bad. It's my first little setup. So relatively small investment, but it gets the job done. Definitely better than my iPhone that I was using before.
I sadly went and spent money on a Rode NT1A microphone, an M-Audio M-Track quad box. I had a tube preamp and a mic switch. All told about a $500 setup. I was plugging it into my PC. I had to do a lot of tweaks and ran all sorts of crazy wiring so I could record sound off my computer back into my computer for one of the other shows I do, and then I was at MapCon and I won this ATR 2100.
Yeah, that thing is sweet.
And this $60 microphone, I plugged it in, and now I'm like, what am I doing with the $600 setup? It's a complete waste. This has a clean, fairly good sound, and it's just so damn easy to use. I don't know why I didn't just get one of these in the first place.
It's tough to not use it. I have one too, and it's a wonderful microphone. I think Tony, you have it as well, don't you?
Yeah, I have a 2100. Plus, I also have a Samson C3 that I got for a birthday present for my daughter. But,
cool.
I use the Samson. I use the Samson mostly at home, and I use my 2100. I use that for when I do remote through my iPhone and do Boss Jock. I use it, but most of the time I use my Samson at home.
Cool.
How do you plug the 2100 into your iPhone?
Yeah, I was just gonna ask that.
There's you get the camera. I think it's called the camera
kit.
connector.
Yeah.
And the camera, you plug it into your. I have the 6S. You know, it's got the what do you call it, the Lightning plug, and then it goes to a USB from Lightning to USB connector, and you just plug your mic USB port into it, and it works perfectly.
Huh.
Camera connector. Where did you get that cord?
Off Amazon. Actually,
Amazon?
I went to one of the local stores here, Fry's Electronics, and got mine. But
I wish we had
get it
fries
off
here.
yeah, you can get it on Amazon. It's only like $30.
Yeah, Apple
Or-
sells it for 29. Yeah, that's
I was able to get one. I have one for 10. Hold on, let me pull it out because I never actually tried it with the ATR. I know I couldn't get the Yeti to work with it because the Yeti required too much power. But I'm curious if the ATR would work. Hold on, I'll be right back.
All right.
That's interesting. I'm gonna look into that.
Yeah, it works really well on mine. I've used it, and I've got the same thing for the iPad. I have the old version of iPad with the bigger connector, and have one of those as well. My only problem with my iPad is I run out of disk space before I can do anything with all the crap that's on it. So. But yeah, it's very easy.
I feel like if I tried to use my iPad for recording, I wouldn't get more than 10 minutes before I was like, all right, you're out of memory. Thanks for playing.
Exactly. Yep, I did that. I was actually doing a live interview on it, and I was also periscoping it at the same time, luckily. And it went dead after about 5 minutes, and then I had to, out of memory, so I just kept going with the periscope and used the periscope recording for, podcasting. I stuck it in Audacity and stripped out the video and stuff. It worked perfectly. It actually sounded good.
What kind of cell phone plan do you have, by the way, that you could be on Google Hangouts on the BART train, that you're periscoping, that you're doing all these things? I have 2 gigs a month from Verizon, and if I don't download my podcast in advance, I'll burn through it in an instant.
Oh, really? Now, I used to have I have a 10 gig plan now, shared with 3 phones, but I'm the only one who uses most of it.
Okay.
But I used to have an unlimited plan, but when I had to get my new phone, I had to, unfortunately, they killed it, and I had to go to a 10 gig plan. So, but I've never gone over the 10 gig, and I download a lot of podcasts and do a lot of Skype and Periscope and stuff. So.
Gotcha.
At least not yet. I haven't.
Sweet.
So I don't think that this is actually working because as soon as I plugged it in, it said that it was not supported.
Maybe the cable. Did you get you paid 10? You didn't get the actual.
Yeah, I got
Apple
this,
cable.
This camera connection kit, so I can plug like an SD card and stuff into it, but.
But is it the Apple one?
No, it's not the Apple one.
Okay, yeah, maybe that.
That might be why.
Let me try on my
Because I know I got a charger and it wasn't Apple, and I tried to use it with my phone and it wouldn't work.
Yeah, I had the same problem.
I got one for the car. I got one cheap because I just needed it for I got into a pinch and I needed an extra cord, so I just spent like $10 on a cord.
Yeah.
Didn't work.
No, it doesn't work.
Yeah, I had heard that several times from people that wanted to research. They said they had problems with the non-Apple ones. So that's why
that's how they get you.
Yep.
I've had problems just with Lightning charging cables that weren't Apple, so
yeah,
no surprise there.
Yep.
Yeah, it sucks.
Yep. But mine works fine with the Apple cables.
What we really need though is the ability to record a Skype call from the iPad or iPhone.
It's called Ringer.
I could just take my phone and get a really great recording and then email it. But I guess with Blab you can record right from Blab, can't you?
Have you used the Ringer app yet? RINGR?
No, not
It's
yet.
I checked into it. Both phones have to be Apple phones, don't they?
No, no. It could
No?
work from. It can be any Android or iPhone compatible can talk to each other. It's
Oh,
basically it's the same concept of PodClear.
right.
You send somebody a code, they download the app, you have a conversation holding your phone like you're talking on the phone through the Ringer app. Your phone records your mic, their phone records their mic. At the end of the conversation, both files get sent up to the cloud and stitched together. Now, it's not a robust sound. It's consistent, it's reliable, but it's thin because right now it doesn't support external microphones. But if you're ever in a situation where you got to interview a person and they're like, I don't use Skype, or no, I don't have a microphone with my laptop, I would recommend doing that. I did a couple of my guests through Ringer, and again, for a consistent, clean sound, it's totally worth it.
I thought
Is that
I'd
free to
read that it
download?
was only for iPhones.
I believe maybe Clamor's the one that's only for iPhones now, but no, I'm pretty sure. Let me check. It's ringr.us is their website. And
Would you say that it's better than like if I
Uh,
had them call my Skype number?
if you're home and if you're like, well, here's the thing with the Skype number, you have to pay for that.
Yeah, it's $30 a year.
All right. Well, so I mean, if you're paying for it, you're paying for it. But I think a
Yeah.
lot of folks don't pay for Skype and don't want to.
Right.
And this is
Right.
completely free. So I just know in a pinch, if I'm ever in trouble, I'm just going to tell somebody, all right, I'll do it on Ringer. But I've also found that, yes, like if somebody has Skype on their phone and you're recording it from your computer, instead of trying to have them talk to their onboard laptop, yeah, have them use their Skype through their phone like it's a phone. Just using their Skype account, doing a free call, and that's going to be better. Again, still thin sounding because you're using the smartphone microphone, which is what it is, but
Right.
a lot more reliable.
Yeah, I mean, actually, it actually isn't $30. It's actually 60 because it's $30 coming in and it's $30 going out. So, but for $60 a year, like when I went away to Europe, it was a lifesaver because when I had whatchamacallit, when I had Wi-Fi, the couple times I had Wi-Fi, I was able to, make a phone call back home for free,
Oh, that's cool.
which is pretty solid, and they could call
Yep.
me for free. It's almost like, again, I would only answer if, of course, at the time, Skype wouldn't do they wouldn't do push notifications, because this is like almost 3 years ago now. So they refused to do push notifications for phone calls. So like, someone could call me, but if I didn't have the app open and running in the background, it wasn't going to send me a notification to let me know. So it was
Right.
it was realistically only a one-way ticket, but at least we could call back home.
Well, and some of us aren't international jet setters like yourself.
Hey, I was on my way, man. But you never know, man. Sooner or later, that might be.
I did buy some credits for Skype, so if I have to make an outgoing call in the few cases, like I can, but I wouldn't necessarily. I don't think I want to start forking over a yearly fee to them yet.
Matt, what do you use to do your interviews typically from home? You use Hangouts or Skype?
100% Skype. I've been using on my computer. I had a PC. I was using Skype and a Malto. I recently am converting over to a Mac, and so now I'm using Skype and Audio Hijack. And honestly, when my computer is hardwired to the router, like the daily show that I do, the Hillary Barsky show, it's me and two other women. One's in New York City, one's in New Hope, Pennsylvania. I'm in New Jersey. We're all on Skype, and some folks don't even realize that we're not in a studio. Like we're all hardwired to our router, so it's pretty clean and consistent. And we're doing it every day.
Very cool.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people don't. I mean, if you do a good job at at keeping your bandwidth down, and you all have good good mics or at least good setups, for the most part, yeah, people can't tell that you're not all sitting together.
Yeah, I mean, I was looking forward to the PodClear solution, but now I guess that's gone with the Blab acquisition.
Yeah, that the PodClear revolution will not be televised, apparently, unfortunately. it's a shame too because I was talking to the owner like a week before before the conference, which is only like a week before it sold.
Yeah, I did an interview with Steve Swanson on Thursday or Friday, and he brought up PodClear, and it was like the next day the news came out, and so I'm publishing that episode tomorrow, and my like news segment is going to be all about it. So I have to like disclaimer like, oh, and by the way, Steve says he wants to hear PodClear. Well, he didn't know they were getting bought at the time. Just kill me with that.
No, it's true, man. Nobody. No, like I said, I didn't even know they were sponsoring the event 2 weeks. Up to 2 weeks out of from being sold. They were all about the event, and it makes sense why they weren't as interested in the wrap. Like they were interested, but they weren't as interested as I thought they would be with the wrap up because it was getting sold just a couple days later, which sucks because I only got to test it out once with Shane Whaley, who was at MapCon. So and I was impressed with the online solution where they just sent me a link. I went into the link and recorded audio on both ends and sounded fantastic. So it's a shame. I would have loved to get away from Skype if I could have. Because not everybody has Skype and not everybody wants to be set up like that,
Well, I think I don't think we're going to hear the last of those solutions. I think somebody else is going to quickly fill that void. Because I think Ringer is also looking to launch a desktop version, and I know they're looking to make external mics a part of the iPhone and Android solution. So, PodClear may be gone, but I don't think we're going to see. I don't think that doesn't mean we're going to see more of these, dual recording solutions.
I think so. I think their incubator worked out really well for them, and they got acquired. But obviously, I think Blab's going to do something with it. So.
Yeah, I'm surprised that Blab had the money to fork over. I mean, they don't even have any kind of monetization yet.
I think they've got deep pockets currently, from what I understand. So. They got a good funding recently.
Well, I mean, obviously they must have deep pockets, and hopefully they utilize the technology, to get high quality recordings in there, in the Blab. I mean, I was just on a Blab session this morning, all about it was Podcasting Magazine. Drew
Oh, that was done on Blab?
That was done on Blab, yeah.
Honestly, I haven't even used Blab or Periscope. I know like very little about both of them. It's just like another thing for me to learn. It's just overwhelming.
Yeah.
Blab really isn't overwhelming. And I was kind of like sitting on the sidelines until Drew Griffin, who was interviewing me earlier today, when I met him at PodCamp or Content Camp Philly. He was, he did a whole class on it. So I sat in on his class before that, or I came in during his class, and that's all he was talking about was Blab. And I was like, well, I've heard people talk about it. So I signed up, and now we're doing it. In fact, I think doing this stuff on Blab probably actually might make more sense going forward.
I think it probably would, to be honest with you, but
yeah, the only thing I don't like is the fact that you can only get 4 people in. I mean,
yeah.
we only have 4 people right now, but you look at how many people we had. What, like 18 people said that they were were interested in coming, or were
18 accepted,
and 8 interested. But the thing is with Blab, if we had all 18 people show up, all 18 people couldn't be in right now. We'd have people on the sideline, and the only way to watch it is to go to YouTube.
Yeah, so, that's true.
So that's why I in the Facebook event, I gotta have 2 links to make that happen. Which really, it's more. You know what I mean? It's more work.
What's the limit for Hangouts?
I'm sorry.
What's the limit for a Google Hangout?
10 people.
10?
Yeah, which is great. I love, I think that 10's the right amount. But the nice thing about Blab is you can have unlimited people in. Plus, we probably would attract more people in with the Blab anyway than
Wait, so
doing
Blab, you can have a lot more than that? A lot more than 10?
They'll be in the chat room though.
But,
Yeah,
but not on video.
Right, only max 4 on video.
Yes. But you can invite people in and out. Like they could jump in and out of the chat room onto video, and then back into the chat room. So kind of like a call like on the radio.
Okay.
It's really cool. I love what the idea is, and maybe for the next one in 2 weeks we'll do it on Blab instead and see what happens. Because what was it? I was watching Tayo Roxon over the weekend on Saturday, and they had like 30 people in there. And then Michael Stelzner,
yeah.
Stelzner, he jumped in, and then
cool.
he was in the chat room, and then he jumped in on video, and then they went a whole nother hour with Michael Stelzner.
Wow.
And he's like, honestly, if you guys had asked me to come on your show, and you're only gonna get 29 people listening to it, I would have said no. But we're here, we're doing it. I'm enjoying it. It's a good time, and it's a live interaction thing. So I'm more interested in doing it than if you asked me to come on, being on your, in a static environment where it's just one-on-one. So I guess I'm becoming a Blab evangelist.
Yeah, I was involved in we did a weekly Blab about social media today or this week, and I enjoyed it, but unfortunately they changed it to midday during the week, and I have a full-time job, so I couldn't do it anymore.
That sucks. But you know what? Just before we jumped on here, I had gotten a message that like Daniel J. Lewis and some other people were doing a Blab that I could have jumped in.
Yep.
And I'm like, man, we're going to Google Hangout. And now, again, I still think that Google Hangout has its place. In fact, with the launch of my new online school, I plan on using Google Hangout as an alternative to doing webinars. But I don't think that I don't believe that Blab, until Blab at least initiates private Blabs, that's going to be another game changer. Because then I would say, yeah, maybe that would be a good idea.
I think they don't do private ones.
I'm sorry?
I said I thought I had heard they did private labs, but maybe I'm mistaken.
Maybe. I didn't think that they did, but I could be wrong.
They may not. I don't remember either.
I got to go to a Blab school with Ivan.
Oh, seriously?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, well, that's
it's
what
like Anthony was saying. There's
I ended up on it.
Yeah.
So many things to keep up with,
Yep, exactly.
Well, the nice thing is it utilizes your Twitter handle as a login.
No, Periscope does the same thing.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
exactly.
But it's not another service where it's like, and I think going forward that makes a lot of sense because, like, I want to get my same name in all these different things, but I might not hear about Blab for 3 or 4 months after it comes out, and by then somebody already took my name, so well, I'm screwed.
That's why if you spell your name incorrectly, like I do, it's much easier.
Yeah.
Is that on purpose or not on purpose?
No, my mother decided she spelled my name with 1 T because she didn't want people calling me Matt. It doesn't work, but that's why she does it.
So call you Math instead.
Yeah, Math. But yeah, I've never had a lot of competition for any properties like that because my name is spelled. I have a unique last name and improperly spelled first name, so it's easy. Sorry, Joe Pardo.
No, it's cool. It's cool. Didn't mean to offend you, Mr. Math. I showed my respect by saying Mr.
I appreciate
it. No, you know, the name thing. I don't know if you guys see on my lower third. I just registered over the weekend. SuperJoePardo.com.
I saw that.
Wondering if,
Yeah. So there's a reason for that though. Like, so a long time ago. Let me share my screen.
you'll remember when
A long time ago, there was he's like a brother to one of my brothers, did this drawing, because he worked with me in the same office, and he did this drawing, like, I think I was away or something like that, and he did this, and it says Super Joe right on it. So, like, over the weekend, I was like, you know, I really would love to get JoePardo.com, and I was like, I wonder if I could get, like, Super Joe. And, of course, I couldn't get Super Joe, but then I was like, well, I could get SuperJoePardo.com. I was like, hey, now we're talking. I'd rather have that than JoePardo.net. JoePardo.net sounds so boring compared to SuperJoePardo.com. So that's where that came
Yeah,
from.
I did notice that when you first logged on. That's cool.
Yeah. So I think I actually went ahead and registered the Twitter handle too, Super Joe Pardo. I just need to switch over. I need to switch my Joe S Pardo to that account, like swap names, so that all my followers, and then put like a, you know, hey, follow me here at Super Joe Pardo at Super Joe Pardo,
Right.
and start advertising that one instead, because I think that works. I think it fits me a little better than and Joe S Pardo is fine, but it just doesn't, I don't know, it doesn't flow as well.
Yes, not everybody can call themselves Super Joe Pardo.
It's Jose Pardo spelled wrong. That's what it is.
That's right.
It's Joe's
Not
Pardo.
everybody's a superhero like Joe is.
Yeah, well, I do what I can, man. I do what I can. So anyway, speaking of doing what I can, guess what came in the mail today?
Your new book? Yeah, buddy.
It just got here today.
Very nice.
It is very nice. There's a couple things I want to change, but I think it's going to be ready in like a week or so to come out. I'll probably shoot a video or something to help promote the fact that it's out. Have to do something like we did with the baby announcement video.
Very cool. Yeah.
Something. I don't know.
How many pages is that one?
This one's only 87, so it actually doesn't have a spine. Well, it has a spine, but it doesn't, like, there's no writing on the spine because they said it was too small for writing, which is fine because the small spine is actually good because it's supposed to be a coloring book. So
Right.
So like I started coloring in like that.
Very cool.
With a crown, and it works just fine. Everything about it came out probably better than I had hoped. So really looking forward to getting it out there.
Nice. Did you use CreateSpace for that one as well?
Yeah, CreateSpace.
Okay.
Which is, it's not bad. I mean, you know, it's a little bit of a pain in the butt to you have to keep converting your .docx into a PDF file and then uploading that, and it just takes. So every time you're like, I got to make a change, you have to like go back into the doc file, save as a PDF, then go and upload it, which takes a while. It has to convert that PDF into its own thing, and then you can view it and say, oh, I screwed up on this too, and you go and make another change, and you go and make another change, and another change, and I probably should have just stacked the changes and then went at it, but it's all good. It doesn't matter. It's done. That's the important part.
Well, and congratulations again. It's
Thank you.
I'm working with somebody else who's trying to put together a book, and I know it's a long, arduous process, but very rewarding.
Congrats.
Yeah. No, thank you. Yeah. I mean, it's not a long book, and the pictures didn't take very long because they're not perfect. I mean, like, that's a picture in the book. But the idea of the white space is that you can write ideas and stuff, and that's what it says in the very beginning of the book, is to write ideas and thoughts in the white spaces and to color them in, because it's the Color Me In edition, which is why the whole cover is actually done in crayon. Or, well, it's Sharpie, but then it's colored in crayon.
I think Tony is getting off the BART right now.
I am. I'm off the BART.
Woohoo!
Go to the car, so I'll have to sign off when I get to the car.
I should probably sign off as well. I have to be up early going into New York for a second day of podcasting at Advertising Week.
That's pretty cool. We should have talked a little bit about that. I've never heard of that.
I hadn't either until I got hired to work it. But if you want, we're posting a whole bunch of podcasts every day. Hashtag AWXII.
Sweet.
And I'm just flooding what I can onto the Twitters.
Awesome. All right. Well, we can wrap this up. Matthew, why don't you start by plugging all your stuff again?
Sure. Check me out. I've got 2 very special podcasts for Pod Up coming up. Tomorrow, Steve Swanson of Muppet Cast.
Woo-hoo!
And Dave Jackson for International Podcast Day. Those are for Pod Up Podcast. And then every day you can check out the Hillary Barsky Show. I won't be on it this week.
Sweet. Tony, why don't you plug your stuff?
Goal Getting Podcast at goalgettingpodcast.com.
Very cool. I'm gonna have to check those shows out, guys.
Yep.
I'm Anthony Hayes from me, myself, and iRadio.com, and everything I do and everything I am starts there. So
All right.
check it out.
Me, myself, and I. A-N-D.
Yep.
Radio.com.
Real pleasure to, obviously always a pleasure chatting with you, Joe, but a real pleasure meeting you 2 gentlemen.
Yep, you guys
Yes,
as well.
absolutely.
Yeah. And we'll be doing the next one in 2 weeks, Monday at 9. Looks like Columbus Day. Columbus Day. So Monday the 12th at 9 p.m. we'll be here, probably on Blab actually. Though I don't know, does Blab? I don't know if you guys, none of you. Well, Tony, do you know if Blab records video?
Yes, they do. It records video.
Sweet. So I could upload that to YouTube afterwards for
Exactly.
archiving.
Yep.
Sweet. Now all they gotta do is make it so they can upload it for me, and then it'll be that much simpler. So
exactly.
But yeah, that's cool. So anyway, I'm Joe Pardo, and you can find me at the new launched superjoepardo.com.
All right.
And all that, everything that I do, and the new book's coming out. So look for that. And yeah, and yourdreamplatform.com will be launched in a couple of weeks. So we'll check in like 2 weeks. Hopefully you guys are able to make it. Hopefully the BART will still be good to you and your cell phone signal, Tony. And thanks everyone for checking in.
All right, thank you. Y'all have a great day.
You too.
Nice to meet you all. Take care.
Take care.
All right, bye-bye.